Hello and welcome to Team Liquid's strategy guide series for Aberrus the Shattered Crucible. I am Kalamazi, and today I'm going to break down the mechanics and strategy for Mythic Magmorax. As always, we'll assume that you're already familiar with the mechanics present in Heroic, and speak only to Mythic changes regarding boss and ability behavior as well as their strategic solutions. For this boss, I'll also be referencing the functionalities of several weak warriors used in our official raid pack, which I strongly recommend you use for the entire raid. So for mythic changes, one of the 3 molten spittles on Heroic becomes a soak, but still drops a magma puddle. You also have 2 small changes to Searing Heat, with the debuff becoming permanent and causing death at 40 stacks instead of 30. The overall strategy for this fight is very simple, which follows suit with the boss's pure lack of mechanics. To start, we'll pull the boss into a corner and place 3 markers in a triangle behind the boss. The center point of the triangle is where the raid will stand and take the raid soak from the explosive magma, while the 2 markers either side will be where we will take the other 2 molten spittles. Our weak warrior will pull text on your screen if you're targeted by molten spittle to go either left or right, making it easy. The 2 tanks will prioritize soaking the right pool, while melee will prioritize soaking the left pool, and range soak the middle pool. The goal with this strategy is to keep stacks low across the raid, excluding tanks, so assist with either pools soaking with the skull in mind. The other mechanic you have to be sure to deal with consistently is lava ejection, the soaks generated by igniting roar. Our weak warrior pack has a helpful aura for this. It tells players to either soak or not soak, as well as causing soaking players to pulse soaking say bubbles. This mechanic is what causes most guilds to wipe during progression, but also on farm, so be sure to pay attention. You can also assign a 6-player rotation of soakers to enforce some determinism with the mechanic, while leaving the tanks free to back up if need be. For a rotation of 3 or 4 molten spittle casts, the raid will be set in the stationary position mentioned earlier using the markers for molten spittle placement. You can choose how long you want to stay based on whether you want to take more damage from the moving part of the phase, leaving more space, or take less damage to have less space. For the 4th or 5th cast, we'll move into a dynamic movement, placing the 2 normal molten spittles at the edge of the room and leaving them to grow without soaking them. We will still obviously take the raid soak as we move to stay ahead of the growing lava. It is important here that you keep the boss a fair bit ahead of the lava to make sure the lava ejection soaks don't spawn in it. For the remainder of the phase, we will place the 2 molten spittles against the growing lava to the outside of the platform, maximizing our play space. There are a few tricks that can make the end of the fight a lot easier as well. Firstly, you should look to spell warding the 8th cast of Explosive Magma, which is the raid soak, and sacrifice cast 9 and 10 should you actually see them. You can do this most effectively by placing a gateway for him to drop the middle puddle far into the lava so as to not encroach on your remaining play space more than necessary. Should you lack spell warding, you should soak 8 and continue to sacrifice cast 9 and 10. You should also be placing short gateways for knockback cast 1, 3, and 5 to trivialize the mechanic. It is especially important with gateway knockback 5 as it would otherwise knock us into the lava. For those knockbacks with no gateway, you can rescue priests who can in turn grip other classes like paladins. You can also use Paladin's Blessing of Protection to negate the knockback as it is tied to physical damage. The easiest time to die is when you're dropping small pools, so make sure to consider using a personal if you're not topped for those hits. With that, we very much hope you found this guide useful. Please feel free to leave feedback or commentary below this video, and make sure to keep an eye on this channel as more guides will be coming out soon. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next one.